Even some of the crashes we've seen in sportsman racing were a little bit bigger. Man, we've had a good appetizer this morning into this afternoon with all the sportsmen and seeing the Pro 2 and Pro 4 earlier. About to have a feast, all of it leading up to the main course, that Forest County Potawatomi Community Cup. But before we get started with the rest of pro racing, let's check in with Haley Shanley for opening ceremonies.
Thank you, Shane and Brent. Well, with the Golden Gates of Crandon, that's where the pavement ends in the action, and both heritage and history all begin for us. So today, final day of the weekend. This is time where the drivers are going to let it all hang out. They know what's at stake, whether it's additional purse money, whether it's bragging rights, or to simply build momentum or to keep it going. It's time to let it all hang out. So today, at Crandon International Raceway, fortune doesn't always favor the careful. No, it favors the bold. So, you guys, you're in for a show. We're glad you're here with us. And before we drop the green into that first hole shot of the pro racing in the afternoon, we want to ground ourselves with gratitude and purpose. And helping us do so is series chaplain from Racers for Christ, Mark Budke, with our invocation. Mark.
Thank you, Hayla. Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this awesome day. It's great weather here today. It's a hot day, and we're expecting some great hot racing out there, Lord. But we want to pray that all the racers stay safe out there, all the track workers stay safe out there, the safety guys, keep them safe too, Lord. And everybody's doing a great job of keeping this event going, and we're just so pleased and blessed to be here. Watch over all the spectators, have them a safe day too. But we just want to have a great day of racing and all have a great time in your awesome name of Jesus Christ. Amen. And as always, a great big Wisconsin. God bless America.
Thank you very much, Mark Budke. And if you're joining us here on site at Crandon International Raceway, will you please rise and remove your hats for the greatest song in all the land? It's time to honor our country with the United States National Anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
22-time short course off-road titles. Driving the Monster Energy number 33 Pro 4. Pro stock and pro side-by-side. Hailing from Swamico, Wisconsin. CJ Greaves. From Argonne, Wisconsin, driving the Lucas Oil number 4 Pro 2, a 3-time national champion and Crandon Cup champion, Keegan Kincaid.
Keegan, okay, 2 wins this weekend, looking to make it the trifecta in the Cup race. Before you go get geared up for that, what's the vibe over at the pit area for you guys?
Oh, it's good. You know, it's a little hot. We got the kids in the pool. I had to take a little dive in it right after that last race. It's been hot. These fans have been enduring it all day. But it's good. We're ready. Truck's almost ready to go and see what it's got.
We look forward to it. Crandon, will you make some noise for this guy right here, Keegan Kincaid?
A two-time Pro Spec World Champion. Driving the number 66 Pro Spec from Seymour, Wisconsin. Chris Van Den Elsen.
Big rollover, Shane.
And off like a rocket is flying to the outside of turn one. He'll have the early advantage.
Welcome everyone once again up to the booth. This is AMSOIL Championship Off-Road presented by Brunt. This is round 6 of the Pro Series. I'm Brent Smith alongside Shane Stetsney. We have Haley Shanley down track podium. But man, this Crandon track has always been so much fun. Ever since we've been little kids coming here watching turn 1, but the track's developed into a great racetrack, and we talk about it a lot, but it's such a beautiful thing when you can get it right.
Yeah, and they've absolutely nailed it. To steal a phrase that Haley used yesterday, these guys are doctors of the dirt, and they found the prescription. Drivers, even in the pits, up on the podium, drivers who had a bad day still said one of the best racetracks they've ever raced on here at this place. I don't know, man. I'm just feeling right now there's an electricity in the air. I mean, I've had goosebumps the whole time we've been going through opening ceremonies.
Right.
It just feels like we're on the verge of some really great racing. The fans here have stuck it out through the heat now for 2 straight days. It's sweltering outside. Even worse for the drivers sitting in staging right now for Pro Buggy. That's just a few moments away. But, yeah, racetrack is phenomenal. Speeds higher than ever before. Close competitive racing, pro and sportsman, all the way through the first round and a half that we've had so far here at the Forest County Potawatomi Community Brush Run Races. We're in for a treat. We're going to have a great time.
Yeah, and like I said it yesterday, hey, we're in Crandon. How can't you be happy? I mean, this is the big house. It's the mecca of off-road racing. Like you said, the track's in prime shape. We got the best in the world here this weekend. And I'm telling you, if you want to win one, you want to do it right here in Crandon. I promise. I have a bunch of second place and third place finishes here. It would feel good to get one at Crandon.
Yeah, every driver brings their A-game that much more coming here to the big house. You want to put your name in those history books alongside all those legends, guys like Walker Evans and Jack Flannery and all the rest. You want to put your name in the book next to them. And we'll get to crown a Forest County Potawatomi Community Cup champion when it's all said and done. That's the finale. But before then, we have 5 other pro races: Pro Buggy, Pro Spec, Pro Light, Pro Stock side-by-side, AMSOIL Pro side-by-side. Every single one of those races yesterday, an absolute banger. Some drivers trying to bounce back from a tough day yesterday, but competitive. Every one of them right down to the wire.
Yeah, it really is. And you got to have your tire grooving right. You got to know what your car likes and know what you like as a driver. You know this track's going to dry out. We're going to throw a bunch of moisture on it throughout this whole afternoon. But this is pro off-road racing. You have to be ready for anything here at Crandon.
Well, we've talked about this racetrack and how beautiful it has been all weekend. Let's take a flying lap around it as you also look at the weather. Temperatures up around 90 degrees at this point. Heat index 98. So almost triple digits on that heat index. Big, long, fast straightaway. Obviously, turn 1, one of the defining features here. Turn 2 is where things can come apart really quickly for you. We saw some rollovers for the sportsmen through this section.
Yeah, and it's really tricky. You got to be square coming off that big flyaway jump. Then you head in one of the fastest straightaways on this Crandon racetrack, and you got to get hard on the binders, rotate that car. You don't want to go out in that dark dirt. You don't want to get sucked down in that dirt.
At least 2 different racing lines we will see open up through the gravel pit. Try to get everything squared away and stay out of trouble going over that Polaris jump. Then into Calamity Corner. We saw plenty of calamity there throughout this weekend so far. Underneath the Hella finish line, through this big left-hand brunt sweeper. A couple really interesting rises here. The trucks get really light there. Then you sweep past this right-hander into the chicane. Trucks get light again. You'll see them dance back and forth a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of passing opportunities going through this section. Then this is this new cutoff, the Cowboy cutoff. You climb that hill, you don't know what's on the other side, and you're just flat out pedal to the metal trying to get to that checkered flag first.
Yeah, that cutoff lane, by the way, it starts out about 3 lanes wide. By the time you get to the top, it's barely 2 trucks wide for the Pro 2s and Pro 4s. It gets really dramatic there in a hurry. So you see the final checks for all the Pro buggy drivers underway. The crew members giving the last confidence boost to all their drivers set to do battle here in round 6. Good look at Michael Meister there in that number 94, and he was your Yokohama top qualifier. Set the fastest lap of the race yesterday, finished second in that one. The defending champ Jordan Bernlohr came out on top for his first win here in 2025, and Dave Mason Jr., you remember yesterday in his debut this season, finished on the podium with a third-place finish, had a great charge late in that race.
Yeah, he really did, and he's not showing up here every race weekend, so when you show up, you want to be able to show your cards. You want to show them that, hey, I didn't miss a heartbeat. I'm ready here to win.
Well, here's your lineup for Pro Buggy round number 6. Billy Booth will be on the pole. Jordan Bernlohr, the defending champ, alongside him. And it's Dave Mason Jr. and Michael Meister, Jaden Minder, Mark Ersteiny Steinhardt, always tough here at the Big House. Cole Bernlohr, Ryan Schwalbe, Tony Keepers from just a few miles away in Argonne, Wisconsin, and Jaden Lemke on the outside of row number 1. Then Chase Gare, Logan Christensen, Dave Vandenelzen, and Kai Graff in row number 2. Looking at that front row, man, every single one of those drivers could break out and compete for a podium here in this race.
Yeah, absolutely. You see Cole Bernlohr starting out a little bit farther, but you want to be up against that wall. If you're Billy Booth with that brand new setup, those Walker Evans shocks, he wants to get those digging deep into this dirt so he can get out front.
Yeah, you mentioned Bernlohr having to start further to the outside. Didn't have a great day yesterday, finished in 7th, but he was the top qualifier ahead of round 5, so he definitely has the speed here at Crandon. Like we've said, and like what the fans will see here shortly, a lot of it here at Crandon comes down to this land rush start.
Oh, absolutely. You have to be ready. When Faye throws that flag down, you better have it ready to drop that clutch, because at any given time, that guy alongside you, he might roll ahead a little bit more. The next one on the outside of you might do the same, so you got to be ready. You got to sneak.
Let's check in really quick with Haley Shanley down trackside.
Thanks, guys, and thanks to all of our viewers and patience here as the track crew works tirelessly to get this track in the best condition possible for our first race of the day. And anytime we have a track prep break, the first race out, they're going to have the best possible conditions, the cleanest surface, but moisture is going to go away very, very quickly. You can see just about 30 seconds ago, the water truck had made its pass here past the barn turn. You can see just the difference in the color of dirt. That moisture is going to go away within a few laps, guys, because what's the recipe for that? It's breeze and sunlight. Moisture in the air and humidity doesn't really affect it as much as those two variables, but we have plenty of breeze, plenty of sun, so I fully expect the water truck to be making many laps today to give us the best surface possible. So we should be underway very, very shortly here. I got word that we are about 3 minutes out, so stay tuned. Pro Buggy up first.
Thank you very much, Haley. And yeah, it's going to get good here in Crandon. 3 minutes ago till the start of these open wheel pro buggies. Some of the baddest cars on the planet. A lot of limited suspension. How many inches in the front and the rear on these super buggies? I think just almost as much as a Pro 4, if not more.
Yeah, just about the same. Pretty open suspension design.
Well, here we go.
Pro Buggy round 6 underway. The green flag flying. And the cars flying into Forest County, Potawatomi, turn number 1.
Who's it going to be? Looks like Michael Meister going to get the job done early.
It is Meister, Mason, Bernlohr, Booth, and Minder, the top 5. Look at Tony Keepers with a great run on the outside.
Wow, look at Dave Mason Jr. Limited schedule, like we said before. He wants to win these races every chance he can get.
Yeah, and what was he up to when he wasn't racing Champ Off-Road the earlier rounds? He won the Nora 1000 and won the Baja 500. That's what he's been up to. He's been winning all over the place, and he's trying to win this Pro Buggy race here in round 6.
Well, he gave a little hip check to Michael Meister, sent him out of the way a little bit.
Yeah, just enough to open the door. Dave Mason Jr. now leading the race. Well, Meister's going to come fighting back down to the inside. Can he find that grip down there? He does. So Meister, a beautiful pass to take that lead back from Dave Mason Jr. Jordan Bernlohr, Tony Keepers up there in the number 4 spot. Keepers raced at his hometown track. Oh, Mason Jr. back to the inside.
Oh man, he pushes straight through. He collects as well as he goes by. Meister didn't make a lot of contact, but enough to get him out of the throttle pedal. See him hitting that berm on the inside.
Yeah, that let Jordan Bernlohr catch up to both of those two. Top 3 almost nose to tail down past the crowd.
Boy, Michael Meister gonna have to go back to work. He found himself out front about a lap ago.
Oh, Meister pushes a little bit wide. Bernlohr is gonna have a run on him, but Meister able to move back down the racetrack. Hold on to that second place spot.
There's Meister now driving down on the bottom. Nothing there, so Dave Mason Jr. still holding on.
Man, Mason's starting to open it up just a little bit. There is Tony Keepers, the Milwaukee Tools car, starting to creep up on Jordan Bernlohr.
Boy, Keepers with a nice drive. Hometown track.
Yeah, Keepers kind of had a rough start to his season. Looking to pick up some momentum just several miles from his house. Got Minder breathing down his neck, though, as they go into the Argonne corner. Minder trying to dive bomb that inside. Oh, and Keepers got crossed up.
Oh, they made contact.
Oh, man.
Stalled it.
That's what it looked like. Someone piled right into the back of Keepers as well as we look back up toward the front. There's Dave Mason Jr. and Michael Meister.
Boy, Dave Mason Jr. doing what he needs to do in those Yokohama tires, trying to get the right grip as it's starting to dry out just a little bit on the bottom already. Like Haley said, it's going to go away fast.
I saw another little mistake there from Meister in turn 2. He's had a couple little bobbles like that. Just costing him a fraction of a second here and there.
Yeah, they're all driving really deep into the gravel pit, and it's actually costing them a lot of speed and bogs those cars right down.
Yeah, once the cushion starts to wear in a little bit, you'll see these guys hunt for that cushion, but right now it's all kind of soft, and they've pushed the dirt surface back down to the inside.
Oh, Bernlohr getting a little crossed up, coming through Calamity Corner, losing a little bit more ground on our top 2. As we go back up front once again, Shane.
Yeah, Michael Meister ate a face full of roost from Dave Mason Jr.
There goes Meister.
A peek down to the inside. Oh, too far inside. Almost went down through the gully there.
Yeah, you got to make sure there's not a boulder down there. You hit with that left front and shear it off.
Yeah, you can run that line not quite as far inside as he did. You can see that he's on the hunt now for a different line through the Argonne corner.
They're running about the same lap times, about 2/10 off of one another. Michael Meister last time by was actually quicker.
Well, we'll see if he can put that to good use and reel in Dave Mason Jr. Those two starting to run away from Bernlohr and everybody else.
Well, they can only run so far. You know, we got that halfway point coming up here in a couple laps. A lot of time left in this first half, though.
Man, Meister again just overcooked it a little bit into the gravel pit. They'll fall back that much more. You see that interval now, maybe 6 car lengths.
Man, the confidence Dave Mason Jr. has. I mean, after winning all those desert races and now coming back in the Midwest, he has what it takes to win these races. You just got to have the car underneath him.
Yeah, everything falling into place for Mason right now as we're flying along with Jaden Minder currently in that 4th spot. And you can see they're already throwing off a lot of that softer dirt on top. You get down to the hard pack.
Boy, Michael Meister, he must just be frustrated right now, just trying to catch back up.
Yeah, it's been self-inflicted though, just a couple different little mistakes that he's made. We'll be coming to the halfway point next time by. Meister though again closing in on Dave Mason Jr.
Yeah, he's trying everything, trying to work for that second half, right? You're trying to see what works, what doesn't work, and watch that track, how it develops. It's gonna get really, really rough here, but look at this. Looks like Mason goes a little wide. Shane takes over the lead.
Yeah, Meister able to steal the lead back away. Wow, he just stormed right past him. Mason a little bit too hot and heavy into the gravel pit. Stuffed it into the cushion. It slowed him up a little bit, and Meister will now lead at halfway.
Boy, he can breathe a little bit easier here in this second half, knowing he gets to set the pace on that restart. But man, it's going to be who can make the least amount of mistakes afternoon.
Right, that was a dogfight there between Meister and Dave Mason Jr. Bernlohr had front row seats to the whole thing, running in 3rd that whole first half. Minder and Ryan Schwalbe up into the top 5.
Steinhardt running in the top 6 still.
Yeah, you can't count him out either. But halfway point has been reached. We will check in trackside. Haley, what's the story in Pro Buggy?
A lot to be watching right now, a lot to be keeping tabs on. But for Dave Mason Jr., I feel like he's here to remind us just how dynamic of a driver he is. It doesn't matter if it's a truck or if it's a trophy truck in the desert. Any vehicle you really put him in, he's coming to perform. And we get him for 6 rounds this season. But man, for Michael Meister, he is tough to beat, especially you can't let him get away because he's going to be a tough one to reel in.
Thank you, Haley. Yeah, he's going to be tough, but Dave Mason Jr., he's bringing his A game here in this second half, and don't count out Bernlohr.
And you can't count out anybody up there in that top 8 or so. Just feels like there's a lot to be decided here. We'll see how Meister plays it on this restart. Takes off right away on that downside.
We talked about that before. When those other cars are trapped up on that hill, that's a good opportunity to take off.
Yeah, Meister got a really nice jump. Puts a little bit of space between himself and Dave Mason Jr. Minder just trying to keep up with Bernlohr's back bumper as they fly down the hill.
Well, now going down in that gravel pit, Michael Meister goes a little bit wider than he wanted to again.
Really uncharacteristic to see several mistakes out of Meister so far.
Yeah,
Still,
he just needs
look
to
at him,
calm
he's
down.
able to get the power down. I think, you know, most of these drivers are probably favoring the hard pack conditions a little bit as far as their tire setup. Should see the track get a little bit faster before it really starts to go away at the end.
Yeah, look at it really starting to work its way in there after the finish line jump. Going in the Argonne loop here. Such a cool shot by the drone.
And they drift out so wide on exit from the Argonne corner. Using up every inch of that track down there. There's a good look at Jaden Minder. Trying to hunt down a podium spot here. Ryan Schwalbe able to hold on to the top 5 spot after that restart.
Boy, Jordan Bernlohr really putting the pressure on now. Dave Mason Jr. better keep looking forward.
Yeah, starting to reel him in bit by bit as they head into the gravel pit.
Look at Bernlor backing it in like a Pro 2 truck.
Well, that might have gained him a little bit more on Dave Mason Jr. Up and over the Polaris jump they go.
There's Michael Meister still out front with about 3 to go in this one.
Yeah, this battle for second and third is doing Michael Meister a huge favor right now. Starting to slip away a little bit. See if Bernlor has what it takes to get back to the bumper of Dave Mason Jr.
Boy, they really like using that inside line down on that bottom. It's really sketchy to do.
Yeah, you're inside at the apex, but then you drift all the way out right to the edge of the track where there's that big dirt berm.
Yeah, you just wait for that grip on exit. You're just trying to feather that throttle to keep going forward. As there's Dave Mason Jr. once again in that 65 Yokohama Tires back ride.
Really interested to see the lap times between Dave Mason Jr. and Jordan Bernlor. Seems like that interval has been set in concrete this whole last lap. Well, there, Bernlor able to gain some ground. A little mistake by Mason.
Yeah, that'll cost you again. Mason still maintaining that spot, but here comes Jordan Bernlor again down on that infield section. Green flag still out that time by.
And it's enjoyable to watch the two different driving styles. There's some corners where Mason's getting sideways way earlier, and other corners where Bernlor's trying to pitch it sideways early.
Yeah, you got to remember they got a hand cutting brake as well, so they're really busy shifting these cars, grabbing the handbrake.
I think
really got to be good.
Bernlor just found the happy medium on that way inside line through the Argonne corner. That one wheel, the inside left front wheel, just dips down into the gully for a second, pops right back on the racetrack.
Yeah, he's got that figured out.
Oh, trouble
like
though for Bernlor. He is off the pace. That'll put Shaden Minder up into fourth, and Ryan Schwalbe now up in, or Minder into third, excuse me. Schwalbe up into fourth.
Yeah, good run for Schwalbe.
And tough break for Jordan Bernlor, the winner in round 5, the defending points champion.
Yeah, you wonder what happened. I don't think it was caused by going off the jump. Something catastrophically just went wrong on that ride. Tough day.
And he'll watch the end of this one from the sidelines as we are under 1 minute left on the clock. See everybody flying over that Polaris Razor jump.
There's Jaden Minder one more time going by what will be our finish line.
Michael Meister now a 3-second lead over Dave Mason Jr. Another good look at Minder's car.
Boy, everyone's starting to spread out a little bit more late in this race. And Michael Meister doing what he left off doing in round 5. Very quick.
He's been tough to tame all season. Rattled off a win streak that came to an end when Jordan Bernlor won yesterday, and he's trying to start a new one in round 6.
Well, he is in the right position to do that. Just staying really clean. You don't see him over jumping the jumps.
Yeah, those mistakes that he had in the first half, he's cleaned all those up. Can see that the track is starting to get a little bit roughed up, but he is really settled in.
Yeah, he's been around long enough. He knows how to handle these cars in any type of terrain.
That's why with a guy like him, you can't let him get away. You have to keep that pressure on, right? It was when he had the pressure, that's when we saw the mistakes.
Yeah, you got to run the pace, though.
White flag is out for Michael Meister.
Sounds like Shaden Minder might have went and took a little look in the hot pits. Something might have been wrong with that car.
Yeah, sounds like it's a flat rear tire on the number 15. Oh. That's going to move Ryan Schwalbe now up into a podium spot. This will be a great day for him and that team.
Final lap this time by. The final time this weekend for Michael Meister. Really being competitive this season right away. Switching his diet, trying to be a little bit more healthy, just mentally trying to focus a little bit more and prep that car just a little deeper.
Yeah, we talk about the margins. Races are won and lost in the margins. That 0.1%, any improvement you can make, that's what Meister's chasing at this point. Really starting to pay off for him.
Yeah, it really is. That 94 Bubbler car is going to get the job done here in round 6. One more tiptoe around Calamity Corner.
6 rounds in, 4 wins for Michael Meister. He'll extend that points lead. Dave Mason Jr. caps off a great weekend. 2 podium finishes here at the Big House. And we should see Ryan Schwalbe come across the line in 3rd. Man, I know Ryan pretty well. I know he's going to be pumped up there on the podium.
Yeah, he defended off some great company behind him. The veteran.
What a day for Meister, though. Had that early battle with Dave Mason Jr. Like I said, you can't let Meister get away. He's one of those guys that when he can mind his own business, you just can't catch him. It's impossible.
Yeah, and you've seen that with Dave Mason Jr. really messing it up with him, and he got in his brain. So we'll have to wait and see until the next round and see what they can do with Michael Meister. We're going to step aside for a few moments, and we'll be back here shortly with the top 3 in this one. Don't go anywhere. We're here at Crandon International Off-Road Raceway.
Every product Brunt makes is named after one of my buddies in the trades who inspired it and helped us design it. Matt Marin, Union Drywaller, needed a wedge boot with serious comfort. Tony Tora, Army veteran and jack of all trades, needed a pant that's built tough and versatile. And John Chevlin, contractor and business owner, needed a work hoodie that performs in any situation. Every step of our design process revolves around listening to the guys who actually do the work, because they've earned a seat at the table.
Don't let waiting in line for service sideline your machine. Eliminate the wait and save money by doing it yourself. AMSOIL makes it simple, with oil change kits that include exactly what you need in one convenient package. Choosing the right kit is also simple. Just plug your ride into the Shop by Vehicle tool at AMSOIL.com and have your kit delivered right to your door. Get the protection you demand and the performance you deserve. Order now at AMSOIL.com.
The roar of the engines, the dirt flying, the adrenaline pumping. This is AMSOIL Championship Off-Road, where the toughest drivers push the limits. Now you can take that same off-road energy wherever you go with official AMSOIL Championship off-road gear. From premium hats and hoodies to must-have tees, we've got the gear that keeps you looking fresh, both on and off the track. Get yours now at shop.isocracing.com. Rep the lifestyle, live the legacy, own the dirt.
Welcome back once again. A beautiful sunny day here in Crandon, Wisconsin. You're watching AMSOIL Championship Off-Road presented by Brunt. We just witnessed a pro buggy showdown here this afternoon. We're going to go down trackside with the third member of our team, Haley Shanley. Take it away, Haley.
Thank you very much, guys. Ryan Schwalbe, wow, to be up here, pro buggy race at Crandon, what a fight you had to display. What's this mean?
It means so much. I mean, these guys are so fast. It's crazy to be up here, and it's been a long time. We know we got a fast car. We got a great team behind us, and we're right there. Sorry. I just got to thank Craftsman Unlimited, Rugged, all my sponsors. They've been there through it, and Cody, Allison, my whole team, Zach. Yeah, we were good.
This is so great to watch. Ryan Schwalbe, P3. There we go. Dave Mason Jr. Wow, this weekend, the whole shot, the leading laps, and now this. How are you feeling about this performance?
Well, you know, you always hate getting beat, but he had a lot of speed. We had a lot of speed too, and just kind of shook out the way it did. But yeah, he's a good guy, so it's all good. We'll go do our homework and come back in the fall and hopefully get him. But it was a fun race. You know, the car was perfect. I was driving the wheels off of that thing, and these Yokohama tires held up. It got really rutted out there, and so we're pushing on these things, and they did just great. So I got to give it up to my team. They're just awesome. Evan, Dylan, Jeff, Ryan, Paul, Steve Reeder, all these guys, Taylor and Nate, my wife Taylor, and my parents. I'm just so excited to be out here racing Crandon. We came from Baja, and now we're out here getting on the podium again. So it just feels really good. Champ puts on awesome races. Crandon has the best track in the business, and we're just excited. So thank you, Yokohama Tires, Fuel Factory, Vision Canopies, Baja Designs, and again, my whole team, and I got to get it up to the Lord, number one.
Congratulations on a great weekend. Dave Mason Jr. Michael Meister. Michael, another one. It seemed like the critical point of the race for you was making that move right before the competition yellow. Was that the critical point?
Yeah, no, it was a battle right from the get-go. As soon as he passed me, you know, he's a truck racer, so he's ready to go. He's ready to lay some doors. He's ready to lay some fiberglass and wheels. So, you know, I've always been pretty respectful, but, you know, this class is so intense and competitive now. We have to do this to kind of make moves, you know, otherwise it's just going to be a one-line track. So it's all good. I mean, no damage, so it's all good. It's cool to race. I think this is the first time I've raced with Dave. And then, you know, I saw Ryan as I was coming out of gravel pit, and I saw him, and I was like, oh, he's got to be so. Congrats to him too. You know, it's an emotional thing. Like, it's just our families and our friends. So, you know, we're just hauling ass and, you know, just trying to have fun with everybody here. But, you know, I got to give a thank to Caitlin, my wife, Austin for getting me in, keeping me safe there, Brad for keeping me safe in my ear. We threw a setup at the car yesterday, and it was just a little too much. So I wasn't super competitive, and then I lost some stuff. But then today we had a better working car. We did some good things overnight, and we were ready to get at it, and the Land Rush start's always a fun time. But I got to thank Ponce North America, Mid-Wisconsin Beverage, and Bubbler. They stepped up for my title sponsorship, and this whole team over here, this whole family and crew, that's all family, and it just makes our racing family bigger. But Michael Meister Logging, our logging company, couldn't do it without that. JP Remington with VP Fuel. Star Powder Coating, Score 192 Whitetails for Food Plot Seed and Anago, Maru Safety, Impact Racing, you know, everybody that helps me out. Hobbytown in Oshkosh, he's selling RC cars by the RC track. Awesome time with RC cars from in my past, but everybody else, it's a blast. Crandon made really awesome improvements, and I look forward to coming back in the fall.
We look forward to seeing you here. Wow, you have a lot to be proud of for this win. Michael Meister winning Pro Buggy.
Thank you very much, Haley. Once again, great job by all the top three competitors, and it's so cool to see the emotions go wild up on that podium. Coming up next, we're going truck racing once again, Pro Spec, right around the corner. You're watching AMSOIL Championship Off-Road, presented by Brunt.
back at Crandon in quite some time. Feeling pretty good. Truck's feeling good. New truck to me this weekend and this season, and only did a little bit of testing, but we're feeling really good. Laid down some solid laps yesterday, qualified fourth, so team's feeling good, I'm feeling good, so try to make some improvements.
Every product Brunt makes is named after one of my buddies in the trades who inspired it and helped us design it. Matt Marin, union drywaller, needed a wedge boot with serious comfort. Tony Tora, Army veteran and jack of all trades, needed a pant that's built tough and versatile. And John Shevlin, contractor and business owner, needed a work hoodie that performs in any situation. Every step of our design process revolves around listening to the guys who actually do the work, because they've earned a seat at the table.
Don't let waiting in line for service sideline your machine. Eliminate the wait and save money by doing it yourself. AMSOIL makes it simple with oil change kits that include exactly what you need in one convenient package. Choosing the right kit is also simple. Just plug your ride into the Shop by Vehicle tool at amsoil.com and have your kit delivered right to your door. Get the protection you demand and the performance you deserve. Order now at amsoil.com.
Hey, on the mountain we've got a saying. Get off your... Touchdown! Woo! Mountain Dew!
We've chased checkered flags through dust, rocks, mud, and worse. We've crowned champions, racked up wins in places where tires go to die. And we're still just getting started. From hammering at hammers to Baja bangers. If it's brutal, beautiful, or just plain ridiculous, we're there. So whether you're bombing through the desert or just dodging potholes in rush hour, tread victoriously with Maxxis tires. Built for whatever you're chasing.
Welcome back to AMSOIL Championship Off-Road presented by Brunt. We're here at Crandon International Off-Road Raceway. I'm Brent Smith alongside Shane Stetsny, and we are getting ready for Pro Spec to get underway. Faye's already up in the tower. You can see him checking them off one by one.
Yeah, you see everybody staged up, ready to go. We do have a note on one driver in this field, Neil Shannock, a scratch here for round number 6. Blew up his transmission yesterday, not able to get that put back together in time. And there's a look at Wyatt Miller, the Yokohama top qualifier and winner from round number 5. His 3rd win through the first 5 rounds. He was tough to tame yesterday. Got out front and was impossible to stop. Everybody else in the field ready to go. Gavin Plummer on the pole alongside Dylan Parsons, then Avery Hemmer, Chris Vandenelsen, Nick Visser, Wyatt Miller, Ronald Kosiza, Zach Shimmick, and all the rest. There's the green flag for Pro Spec.
We'll see who can get to Forest County Potawatomi turn number 1 first. Look at Vandenelsen coming right down the middle. Him and Nick Visser trying to fight for it.
We'll see who gets the whole shot. It's Chris Vandenelsen, the Nexen Tires truck number 66. Parsons and Visser staying side by side as they go into turn 2 finally. Visser able to get the advantage.
Yeah, good start by Parsons as well there in that Toys for Trucks. Bonds eyeing off that
look
drop
at Miller.
out. Yeah, Miller's not wasting any time. He made up a spot right away.
Yeah, he was into Parsons' door in the air. Just wild going over that skybox jump. You really got to be careful making contact there. Look at Miller makes another aggressive move to get past Visser.
Yeah, Visser coming in that gravel pit a little too hot and heavy, and he pushed a little wide, and that gave that opportunity to Wyatt Miller in that Bass Pro Shops number 73.
Yeah, they put down another heavy coat of water before this one. 7,000 gallons of water go down before every pro race here. That's what the heat has given us right now.
Look at this battle going on right here. Visser trying to muscle his way through.
Yeah, Parsons and Visser, neither one of those drivers wanted to give an inch there. Finally, Parsons thinks better of it, backs off a little bit.
Hey, they found a spot
Visser
where the
again.
water isn't.
Visser pushed right across that slick inside, out across the cushion.
Yeah, they'll be chasing that all day long here. See some bedsides starting to peel apart. Here comes Avery Hemmer now.
Yeah, Hemmer had a really nice run out of the cutoff. Got a little bit crossed up. Ronald Kosiza hanging right with them as well.
Dylan Parsons bouncing back really well after that big crash in Wheatland, Missouri.
Yeah, it's taking him some time to, get that confidence back that we talked about. Oh, and Parsons a little crossed up, landing off the skybox jump.
That's what I talked about earlier. When you're coming off that jump, you're fading so far out, you got to oversteer. And look at this battle. Wyatt Miller just roughing up Vandenelsen already.
Yeah, door to door, they were banging it for the lead. But Vandenelsen able to close the door in Miller's face, then feed him a mouthful of roost in the process as he peels out of there.
Boy, Vandenelsen now, he's just got to hit his marks. He's a little slippery here and there. You just got to stick to that bottom side. You don't want to get sucked out in that loamy soil.
I think back to round 5 and what we're seeing so far today, this is a different Wyatt Miller than I think we've seen ever in Pro Spec. Just really turning up the aggression.
I think it comes from all his other racing he's doing as well. He's in dirt modifieds, he's in sprint cars at Millbridge in North Carolina, so he's putting in the effort, putting in the work.
Oh yeah, I mean, his skills are as sharp as anybody, there's no doubt about that. But look at Nick Visser now creeping up on Miller's back bumper.
Oh, Miller goes a little wide. There goes Visser down on the inside.
Yeah, and Visser, that's the smart play there. He just moved over a little bit further, made sure Miller was off the race line. Turn and burn, and Nick Visser now back into second. We'll see if he has what it takes to run down Vandenelsen.
Oh, Visser bites it up a little, as well as Wyatt Miller.
Yeah, you can get caught if you're so locked in on the driver in front of you. You can follow them a little too hard into a corner. That's exactly what we saw there.
Yeah, when you back it into that gravel pit, you got to keep those tires rotating. You can't lift off the gas. That's when it catches and puts it up on the bicycle.
I just watched Miller stuff the nose off the Polaris Razor jump. Given these trucks all the suspension can handle, there you see the interval. That is Chris Vandenelsen off in the distance. Another look at Miller already shedding some fiberglass.
Vandenelsen's the only one in the 114s right now. See that gap right on our screen, about 15 truck lengths.
Top 3 starting to spread out just a little bit now. We know that Miller's got the speed to run with Visser. We'll see if he can start to reel him in once again. You have to limit mistakes though. I mean, we saw how this track can bite you if you're not careful.
Yeah, and that's what happened to Wyatt Miller. He's gonna have to go back and do his homework here with a lot of time left here in this Pro Spec race. There's Vandenelsen going through our screen. Still out front.
Yeah, Vandenelsen's starting to settle in now. He's getting a little bit comfortable. Had a good day in round 5, finished second in that one. Chris Van Nelsen came into this year saying that his goal, flat out, win a championship. He knows that he doesn't have to win every race to do that, just searching for that consistency.
Yeah, he's doing what he needs to do, sitting out front here early, but I can guarantee you, Nick Visser, he has a little bit more up his sleeve for that second half. He just needs to be right there.
And I think the speed that we saw from Miller, not just earlier in this race, but in round 5, is there's another push by Visser. Miller definitely still a threat to move his way forward in this one.
Oh, he's
Leaning
not afraid.
on the bedside of Visser as they go through the cowboy cutoff.
Yeah, he likes to rough it up a little bit. He's trying to wiggle his way up to the front.
Yeah, Visser's not going to take too much more of that. He'll start to give it back just a little bit.
Boy, Visser, he must not be lifting much off that barn jump. He's setting the back end down first.
Up and over this big skybox jump, flying down to the bottom of the hill.
Should be getting close, coming to that mandatory competition caution this time by Shane, so we'll get a chance to re-rack, restack this whole field.
Miller trying that inside line through the gravel pit. It looked about even, so there's two lines opened up in that gravel pit. There, Miller again, you see him stuff the nose.
Yeah, he's not going to have body panels left with that car by the time they're done with this, and there's that halfway point. Van Nelsen really leading the way around, about 2.5 second lead. But Wyatt Miller,
yeah, it seems
is
like
the fastest lap of the race so far. 1:13.
Seems like the best game plan based on what we saw in Pro Buggy and what we're seeing here in Pro Spec. First half of the race, as the track changes so drastically, you have to just limit mistakes. Van Nelsen, we didn't see him make any kind of error whatsoever. Visser and Miller, both of those two, each made a couple different mistakes at different points through that first half. That's what's made the difference so far. Obviously, track's going to be a lot different when we get toward the end of the second half run. But before we see how it unfolds, we'll check in trackside once again with Haley.
Your front runners, well, these have been kind of in our usual suspects for over a year now, but one in particular, Wyatt Miller. With 1 round to go in that win, he said, I didn't expect to win this one, and he specifically called out elements of that race where he said, I didn't feel like I was that good. Well, I think that's an indicator of just maybe the expectations he has of himself and his performance, but also the metrics he uses to gauge what is or isn't a good race. So what I also love about this is the friendly smack talk we're starting to see, but it's all rooted in a mutual drive to push one another, create the best class possible, the best racing.
Pro Spec Part 2 now underway. Yeah, it's been great to see Wyatt Miller come out of his shell, both as a racer behind the wheel and just as a person at the racetrack.
Well, now this is where it's going to get interesting here. We'll see if Nick Visser can run this pace. He's going really, really wide. He's going to try to cross back underneath. Watch this. An outside, inside. Oh, Miller comes into the side of him.
Yeah, that move by Visser kind of caught Miller by surprise. He's going to spin all the way around 360 degrees and fall to the tail end of the field. Just like that, we're down to 2 trucks battling for the lead.
Man, Visser caught him right back up to him once again. Not leaving the back bumper, but Van Nelsen really stretching it out right there. So maybe a little bit different style on tire groove.
Yeah, it's really hard to say, but you're right. Van Nelsen able to accelerate away out of the Calamity corner. Look at Visser just trying to widen it way out, going into the Argonne corner. You can come out a little bit lower. We've seen drivers use that line to beat the driver in front of them to the spot in the next corner going up this cutoff. He wasn't close enough that time, but able to gain a little bit back.
Yeah, you try to get side by side so you can beat him to that next corner. Man, Visser just barely shaving the hood off on that K-rail.
Yeah, there's going to be no green paint left on the fiberglass on his right front fender.
Van Nelsen, it's so nice to watch him. He's not getting squirrely at all. He's finding that fast line. Watch as they come back into the gravel pit one more time. There's Dylan Parsons, just blew the hood off of that truck almost off that flyaway.
Yeah, that's the battle for 3rd and 4th. Dylan Parsons, last year's champion, in that 3rd spot. Feeling the heat from Ronald Cosiza. See, Cosiza starting to lose some chunks of fiberglass as well. Back up front though, Chris Van Nelsen out of Seymour, Wisconsin. Stretching it out just a little bit more over Visser.
Yeah, he really is. He's looking really, really quick. And that last time by, he was faster than everyone. A 112. We are now in the 112s.
Yeah, so the stopwatch agrees with us, Brent. Chris Van Nelsen, the fastest truck on the racetrack. You see Visser still trying to hunt the right line through the Argonne corner. That was not the right line. He's going to fall back even more.
Yeah, sometimes it's really hard to chase, especially late in this race. You're trying to just catch him and sometimes you bobble some of your turns, and that's what happened to Visser. As Van den Elzen still out front in that 66.
Time's starting to dwindle down. We're at 2 minutes left on the clock. Looks like today might belong to Chris Van den Elzen here in Pro Spec. Another good look at Visser, Yokohama Tires truck running in that second spot.
Van den Elzen still holding his own, showing a lot of strength here this afternoon. Visser not even within striking distance right now. It's going to be maybe a costly mistake by Van den Elzen to even give him a shot.
Yeah, and we haven't really seen one yet out of Chris so far. Another good look at the interval between those two. Fly along with Chris Van den Elzen as he goes into the Argonne corner. See him starting to widen it out just a little bit too.
Yeah, he's just chasing.
Yeah, it's a pretty sharp corner, deceptively sharp, but if you can widen it out like that, you carry a little bit more momentum.
Well, he's found the speed here today. He's really showing it. Vaughn's eyeing off these front doubles one more time as the clock is winding down. There's Visser. Look at him locking up the front tires, trying to set that front end down.
Yeah, Visser's doing everything in his power right now. As we look further back, hey, Ronald Cosiza has gotten around Dylan Parsons, so Ronald Cosiza now in third, and look who else is back in the picture for the final podium spot. Thriller Wyatt Miller catching both of those two drivers.
Oh yeah, Wyatt's not done yet. He's got a couple more good turns that he likes to go down on that inside. But all these trucks are so equal and competitive. That hood's starting to flap away on Parsons.
That's got to be, if nothing else, a huge distraction to Parsons. Really hard to keep your focus when you have that waving in your face. 2 laps to go this time for the Pro Spec class. Be a really great run for Ronald Cosiza if he can hold on to a podium spot.
There's Wyatt Miller still trying to hunt down to get on that podium in that number 73.
Well, Parsons trying to look at the bottom, trying to get past Ronald Cosiza. Nothing doing that time. Look at Miller just creeping up on Parsons, though, as they come through the cutoff.
Yeah, he's right there. He's going to try to over-jump this barn jump. Watch Miller. He's going to just skybox this thing.
Oh, yeah, they're both flat out right now. Miller getting out to that cushion early, trying to run the long way around. Might have a good run coming over the skybox jump. We'll keep an eye on it. Half a truck length between Parsons and Miller. That's the battle for fourth on the racetrack. Look at Miller pitching it way early.
Man,
never touched him either.
No, he played it really safe, made that pass, moved Parsons out of the way. Just took that race line away from Parsons.
So white flag is out now for the Pro Specs. Van den Elzen and Visser checking out on everybody else. This battle is going to get good here. Ronald Cosiza trying to hold off Thriller Wyatt Miller.
He's on the move, though.
You can tell Miller's motivated. He spun out in the gravel pit after the restart and to work his way all the way for the tail end of the field.
Yeah, he's going to have a shot at it. He's going to just put it together here and try to get that drive like you said before. Look at him drive right across that bottom. Hit that big, famous hole coming out of that pit.
Down the front straightaway here on the final lap. Last time past the crowd here at Crandon International Raceway. Hemmer now starting to put some pressure on Parsons. That'll be the battle for fifth as they go into turn 2.
Cosiza still out front of Wyatt Miller right now. Lost a little ground that last lap.
Look at Miller again, pitching it in way early. Meanwhile, there is Chris Van den Elzen. He is going to take the win here in round 6. Doing it in style, too. Ran away from everybody else. Miller, one last shot at Cosiza for that final podium spot.
He just can't get the truck to turn.
Yeah, Cosiza never gave him a chance either. Ran the perfect line all the way around the final turn. So Nick Visser second and Ronald Cosiza up on the podium. A third place finish here in round number 6.
Man, what a run for that 66 truck. Chris Van den Elzen, he was due. It's been a little while. He's been having some tough luck and put it all together.
Yeah, like I said, his goal is a championship. He's been clear about that right from the start this year. consistency is what you need to do, and having a win on the docket doesn't hurt whatsoever. Good day for Visser. Good run for Cosiza as well. We'll talk to them here in just a few short moments. Plenty more to come. The day winding down, that Forest County Potawatomi Community Cup looms ahead at the end of the day. All that and more here from AMSOIL Championship Off-Road, presented by Brunt.
Every race is a test of performance. When the stakes are high, racers rely on proven products. If AMSOIL products are engineered for this kind of punishment, you can trust them in your garage. Shop by vehicle to find everything you need for your ride. Get the protection you demand and performance you deserve with fast, free shipping from AMSOIL.com.
Find Bubbler at your nearest retailer.
You know how important a garage or a shop is. It's where good things are built and broken things get fixed. I started Brunt in my home garage because the workwear industry wasn't working for my buddies in the trades. These guys deserve a brand that actually stands behind them and listens to their needs.
We're a little bit bigger now, and so is the garage. Every week, our team gathers at the Brunt garage and we open up for our customers and local workers to hang out, give feedback on our products, and be part of what we're doing here at Brunt.
We're building something better.
Standing by.
Thanks, Shane. Ron Cosiza, Ron, it's not just a podium at Crandon, it's how you had to earn this. So what did it take? You were having to be on the defensive until the checkered.
Yeah, I was just out there ripping as hard as I could and just trying not to roll.
What other takeaways are this from you? Not only having achieved that, but what other good takeaways are there?
The takeaways are that I can be very competitive, so I'm really happy with that. I just got to push myself harder and I can run further front.
Fantastic. Who would you like to thank for this zone?
All my friends and family for coming to help me. Crazy Farm Motorsports and all my sponsors I'll forget, and I'd like to thank Nikki for being my good luck charm.
He puts on a show for us again today, Ron Cosiza. Nick Visser, I like the pace, I like the fight, and in just this position, what did it demand of you today?
You know, we were getting pinballed again today, and I really wasn't real happy about it after yesterday and today, but
we just kept the composure and just kept pushing forward and kept the truck in a straight line. And coming in halfway, I was getting a bunch of dirt blowing in my eyes and wasn't really sure. And then all of a sudden, I had no air, so I lost my bumper hose come off. So with this heat in that second half, it was a battle just to keep focused. And then on the last lap coming into the gravel pit, the truck actually shut down because the oil temp was too high. But hopefully we can get that stuff figured out and push for a win at ERX.
Way to push through. Congrats.
We just want to thank our sponsors. Kristen Ambos at Point Mortgage. I've forgotten you the last how many times. I'm so sorry. I love you. Yokohama Tires for always being here. These guys, they're like second family to me, going up there. We chit-chat, sit down and BS. And I can't thank you guys back at the trailer enough, doing everything that you guys do for all of us drivers. And Builder's Service, 139, J&J Insulators, Tony at Argon Lumber, Builder's Service, Parsons, Made a Custom Apparel, Wagner Oil, just everybody else. The crowd for coming out here, the track crew for putting on this beautiful show this weekend, and just all of my support over here, my crew that puts their sweat and tears in this just like I do. Thank you guys.
Congratulations. A way to push through. Nick Visser. Chris Van Den Elzen. Chris, I don't know about you if this has felt like a long time coming, but boy, for us fans, this was worth the wait. So what's this feel like?
Oh, it feels great to be back up here, especially at the big house. I mean, it's been awesome to win World Championship twice here in this class, and just to do it in the spring is pretty awesome too. But man, that was quite the race. I mean, being out in front, making one little mistake and had to shake that off, and just kind of put your head down, focus, and just kind of let the truck flow and do what it needed to do. But yeah, it was hair raising, and man, it's hot out. So other than that, Crandon, I got to say, put on another phenomenal track for us. I'm really happy about that. I really have to thank my family watching at home, my wife, my spotter Robert, keeping me calm, and you know, just putting me in the right place where I needed to with all the water that was on the track at times. But aside from that, I really have to thank all my partners that make this happen. Nexen Tire, the ATX, hooked up on every single aspect of this track. EOS Injury Law Firm, Racer on Demand, Malco Automotive, G-Force Transmissions, Go Lithium Batteries, Joe's Hand Cleaner, and DHI for keeping the truck looking good and keeping our pits looking good. So thank you to everybody that's a part of this. Hopefully we take this momentum and bring it into ERX here.
Thanks for a great show. Chris Van Den Elzen, winner for Pro Spec.
Thanks again, Haley. Congratulations to Chris Van Den Elzen getting back up on top of the box. That's a great feeling in itself, just to move on in the season, right? To go towards that points championship.
Yeah, and at the same time, you know, a mix of emotions up there on the podium. You heard Nick Visser talking about not too thrilled with the physical nature of that race. Pro Spec, though, it brings the heat, man. Always so much fun to watch. Different kinds of drama at any given time. And you see what's next. Pro stock side-by-side, staged up and ready to go. We'll take a very short break here from Crandon. Final track prep underway for Pro Stock. All that and more here from the big house. Don't go anywhere.
All the racers are ready.